Hello everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to turn your mind control device into a tool, a minimalist tool that will actually help you instead of stealing your life and corrupting your heart and mind. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the settings. I'm going to use my little search bar there, go to settings. In the settings, we're going to change a few things. We're going to start with display and brightness. In display and brightness, I'm going to select dark mode. I'm going to turn TrueTone off, and I'm going to go to night shift. Night shift is big. We want night shift on. So what I do is I'm going to turn a scheduled night shift on, and I'm going to put that to maximum warmth. Now, I want it to run 24/7, so you can just copy what I have here, and that will give you a 24/7 night shift on maximum warmth. If you use this for like 10 days, your brain will adjust, your eyes will adjust, you will not notice that it's on. You will not get headaches, or all the things we're going to do here are going to prevent headaches, agitation, anxiety, addiction. We have to make the phone screen safe. It's not safe. So we're going to turn on night shift on max, and that's going to be good. Next, we're going to go to accessibility right below, accessibility, display and text size. And toward the bottom, we have two options. The first is called reduce white point. This one is very important. So we're going to turn that on. And I have it set to 85%. That's as far as I can go before it starts to make the screen actually like hard to see. And you can see the little description there says reduce the intensity of bright colors. So that's reducing the colors, but what it's also doing, it's hidden, is it's actually just reducing the intensity of the light itself. These phone screens are absurdly bright, super harsh, terrible for your cells, terrible for your mitochondria, terrible for your brain, terrible for your melatonin, terrible for your sleep architecture. It's killing us. So we got to make the screen safe, and we're going to do that by turning the white point off, reducing it by 85%. Then we go into color filters right above that. We're going to turn those on and choose grayscale. Even with no intensity here at all, you can see the difference between the default colors and the grayscale colors. These are unnatural, fake, baby cartoon colors that hijack your brain and make you not be able to look away, but they're actually disgusting and vile. So we're going to turn those off. And this at least gives us some more natural palette of colors, but they're still too bright and too captivating for my liking. So you can just start by just peppering it a little bit until you get used to it. I'm going to go like 80% of the way. I go all the way till it's about to be black and white and then move it back enough to distinguish them, but where it's not bright. And this makes the world outside of the phone much more interesting than the world inside the phone. Subtle change, massive difference. So we're definitely going to do that. Now what you can do, because some of you will say, well, sometimes I need the colors. That's okay. We're going to go back. And at the bottom of accessibility, you have something called accessibility shortcut. We're going to go in here and turn on color filters as the only selection. And what that will do is when you triple click the side button, the power button, you can see that it will toggle our color filter on and off. So if you need to buy an item online, you need to see the color, trying to look at a picture, you can toggle the colors on and off with a simple triple click. All right, now we're going to change just a couple other settings here. So we're going to go up to sounds and haptics. And here, I turn the change with buttons off because I want to be able to change my volume, not the ringer. Your ringer should be off 100% of the time or 99% of the time. Why people have their ringer on in public spaces is beyond me. But if that's you, then you do you. And I'm just going to be very annoyed. So we're going to turn that off. Then we're going to go into notifications, and you got to take just 10 minutes out of one day and then be done for the rest of your life to go through and manually turn off notifications for every single thing except for what you absolutely need. That's probably, for me, that's messages and phone. That's the only notifications that are going to show up on my phone screen, that are going to actually come down in a banner, that are going to break through. All my blocks here is going to be messages and phone. I think that's it, and maybe calendar. So you're just going to go through and turn these off, and you'll see some of them have snuck through. So, I'll go through here and clean some of these up. We're just going to go in here, go to messages, and I leave these on. So I have lock screen notification center. I leave messages on. This is the only one that's fully on. But even though it's on, I have it on the lock screen and all this, but I don't have sounds or haptics. So in sounds, I'm going to go in here, and for the alert tone, none. Haptics, none. Because I don't need my phone grabbing my attention, telling me when to use it. I will use it when I want to use it. When I choose to use it, I don't need the phone grabbing me. My hand already reaches itself for the phone. I'm trying to break that habit. My hand's already reaching. I don't need the phone reaching toward me. So those notifications are off. Obviously, if you, for work or something, if it's absolutely necessary, then you can turn it on. I would still say turn the tone off or change the tone. That default tone is designed to capture your maximum amount of attention and to rip you away from reality. You don't want that. So I would turn that off, but you could leave a haptic, like a vibration, on. Now I have them both off because I don't carry my phone on my person for a lot of reasons, including radio frequency, electromagnetic fields. So obviously sometimes I have to carry it, in which case the phone is on airplane mode. Always on airplane mode if I'm carrying the phone. If it's against my body, it says on the manufacturer's label, not to hold the phone. I don't know the distance, but don't hold it within a certain range of your skin or your head. You're not supposed to carry it on your person. It's not safe, especially carrying it with Wi-Fi and cellular and Bluetooth on, all those antennas sending, receiving non-native EMF inches from your genitals. Probably not the wisest thing to do. So if you're going to carry it and you're not expecting a call or something right there, carry it on airplane mode. And then if you're able to set it somewhere, you could take it off, turn off airplane mode when you're ready to use it or when you need to check. So for me, the phone basically just lives on airplane mode, and turn it off when I want to check my messages. So we're going to shut that down. Got the notification turned off, sounds and haptics turned off, and I think that might be everything. The only other thing would be for those of you who struggle with unrestricted internet access or pornography. There's obviously solutions like Covenant Eyes and different apps that can be used. I'd recommend Covenant Eyes, but even here in the phone, we can set up some pretty good protections by going to content and privacy restrictions and turning those on. By going into allowed apps and features, I have Safari turned off. So Safari, I do not have internet access, period. And that is to keep me from visual temptation, but it is also to keep me from this habit that we all have of going and looking things up every time we have a thought, or going to the internet just as a habit. I just realized I really don't need it. It doesn't really serve me. I want to see what it's like to live without internet access on the phone at all. Period. So that's what I've done. And I'm going to put that behind a passcode that I don't know so that I cannot access it. Then we can go to Store and Web. In Store and Web, you'll have an option in the middle here called Web Content, where you will select Limit Adult Websites. And when you go back, it's going to give you an option to lock your screen time settings right here where it says Change. That's going to say Set a Screen Time Passcode. You can either have someone else set that for you so that you don't know it, or you can just close your eyes and do a movement with your thumbs, hit 4 digits, and then just try to replicate that movement until you get the passcode correctly twice in a row. And then as soon as you get the second one, immediately start doing something else. Pay attention to something else so that you will not remember. Don't commit it to memory. That's how I do it. Now it's locked behind a passcode that I do not know. So now we're going to go back to the home screen, which you will notice is not a home screen. So here is my normal home screen. This is what I use every day. This is what it normally looks like. The Q&A here is a little language model with a little poem for you guys. And then I've made this one for the purposes of today's video. No clutter, no bright colors. I think the default home screen is kind of an eyesore, actually quite a big eyesore. It's just kind of disgusting. So this is very nice for me. And I'm going to show you how to set this up. So we're going to go to the App Store and we're going to grab an app called Blank Spaces. Now I chose Blank Spaces because they do not collect any data, and I like that. So we're going to open this app, and in here, I think there will be a tutorial that will give you a few steps, very intuitive. Just follow the tutorial. That's going to involve setting the gray background as your home screen background. It'll walk you through doing that. And then we're basically going to build a widget to put on top of that home screen, on top of that just matte gray color. So in the app, we have the option to build a widget. This is my normal widget here. This is the one I've created for this video. We'll make a new one. And here we can choose messages, calendar, and maybe I want Google Maps in here as well. And maybe I want Gmail in here as well. So then now I have a widget like this, widget 3, which has those 4 things we just selected. And what we can do is press and hold on the empty space till things start to jiggle. We get our blank page. I can tap the plus in the top right. That's going to pull up our widget options. We're going to choose the blank spaces icon here. That's going to give us an option for the top, which we'll place there. Hit the plus again, choose it, and now we have an option to choose our widgets. This is the one we just made, widget 3. I'm going to add that and put it below. And just like that, we've created a minimalist, very simple home screen that is going to give you only what you need and nothing that you don't. The way this works is just when you tap it, it's going to open and just take you to the app that you selected. Like that. Now you'll see on here something called brick. This is going to be the last piece of our transformation of our mind control device into an actual useful tool that will serve us. And that's called the brick. The brick is this physical device, magnetic tap device, which, let's open the app here. We're going to get the app, and in the app, we're able to select this option and hit the plus to make a new mode. We're going to choose allowing apps. So we only choose which apps to allow through, and it's going to block everything else. We hit the little pencil. It's going to give you all these categories that you can just tap through and allow the apps that you want. So once that's been selected, let's say we have our default mode here. We're going to tap to hold the brick, pulls up the scanner, tap the phone on the brick. Your phone is now bricked. What does this mean? Well, let's go home, and I never go over here, but just for the purpose of today's video, we're going to go over here, and you'll see over here, first of all, no notifications. No notifications over here. But also, some of the apps obviously are normal, and some of them are grayed out. The ones that are grayed out, it will not let me open. So it'll say, this is a distraction. Now, normally there's other apps and screen time that let you do this, but it will just allow you to immediately bypass it. But what I like about the brick is that the only way to get access back to these apps is to go back to the brick app itself and to physically touch it to the brick. So what you can do is you can tap the brick, you can lock the device down except for the apps that you've allowed through. And then you can take this physical brick and you can put it in a safe or in your car or at your workplace or somewhere that you do not have access to it or that is very inconvenient access, so that you really got to be determined to get access to your social media or whatever. Now I'll just tell you my protocol, the way I use my phone, the way I've structured my life, which has been a long war, because what you guys need to realize is this is not just a device that I'm telling you how to improve. You don't know what this thing is. We don't know what this is or where it came from. But if you are paying any attention at all, it is radically transforming humanity and stealing our humanity and warping our minds and doing some very destructive and crazy things. This is not safe, and it's super addictive. This is war. You got to declare war on this thing and defeat it and get control of the use of it. Now, I'm trying to help you to not need to get rid of it, to be able to keep it and have it actually serve you. But if you're just using it at default, it's winning. So if you're not actively fighting and at war with this thing, then you're losing. So I just want to let you guys know what I do. And this is after a long period of warring with this thing and watching what it's doing to me, watching how I interact with it, and trying to conquer this, win this battle, conquer this enemy. So what I do is I keep my mind control device in my car very close to 24/7. It just lives in the car. When I go places, I generally don't bring it with me out of the car unless I absolutely need to. And there are times where I do, I suppose, but for the most part, I don't bring it into church, don't bring it into waiting rooms, don't bring it into places or restaurants, anything like that. Because why? For what reason do I need to have it there? Now, I know there's exceptions, certain kinds of work or young children, these kind of things, but even still, I would encourage you to test to what degree you can not use it. You can put it away, because I don't think it's nearly as necessary as we think it is. So it's going to live in the car, never ever comes in my apartment except for the making of this video. I do have a Macbook, so I'm able to send and receive messages through the MacBook, do my work, and any internet usage I need to do, I do all through my MacBook, is much less addicting, it feels like, than the phone is. So I have a MacBook to use in my apartment, and my phone just has absolutely no place in my apartment. Does not belong here, adds no value, has no reason to be inside my apartment or yours. That does not live there. Obviously, if I need to make a phone call from inside, I will go out to my car and get it. And that's really not such a big deal, is it? So it does come in for phone calls in the event that I need to do that, but it's going to live out there, never comes in. And I will say, guys, if your phone is in your bedroom, what are you doing? You need to get it out. You say, well, I use it for my alarm. You could get an alarm. A clock. Don't use it in your bed ever. Don't use it right before bedtime. Don't have it in your bedroom. Don't charge it in your bedroom. Have it on Do Not Disturb or powered off while you're sleeping. Or better yet, keep it in your car while you're sleeping. Because even if it's not chiming, it's not lighting up, it's not doing anything, your brain knows where that thing is. And it knows everything that's in there and all the ways that you could use it and all the things that you could look at. And so it's whether it's in your pocket, whether it's in your bedroom, whether it's somewhere in your house, your brain knows where it is and knows that you could go and use it. So you need to cut that connection to where it's actually inaccessible. And what you'll find is that when you do that, suddenly you get your life back. God bless. Take it easy.